back to episode 4 of the Time Banter show. This is part 2, the Fantasy League show. My name's Tarek.
I'm Liam.
I'm Riz.
And this is the part where we really get into the nuts and bolts of the Fantasy League. We're only 8 days away, or a week away. I can't wait.
Happy days.
I can't wait.
Days. Bring it on.
Oh, honestly, I can't contain myself, genuinely. Right. But some of you out there, off the back of our show, thank you very much for watching and tuning in.
Cheers, guys.
Are excited about Fantasy League and have entered our league. I'll put the code up as well if you haven't entered it. But they're asking about a few of the basic principles, basic rules, and even some of our friends who think they know the game. But we're going to clarify it for you. So we're going to run that through those rules, do's and don'ts if you like, the do's and don'ts of Fantasy League to help you hopefully make a successful start to the season. So straight away, number 1, don't get promoted players. So teams from Wolves this season, Cardiff and Fulham, which is tough. It's hard this season because normally you wouldn't go for promoted team, you wouldn't be a consideration, but this season Wolves and Fulham, going off their championship season and the signings they've made, are looking really promising. But despite that, I personally would say give it the first 2 weeks, definitely 3 weeks maybe, see how they do, because generally when promoted teams come up, they score less, they concede more, so that's why you don't go for their players. Liam?
Yep, number 2, don't get new signings until they bed in. So obviously new signings, we always hear about the English Premier League is the hardest league in the world.
Yeah.
New signings, it can take them a few weeks to settle down. Somebody could come in, have a great game, or they could score a hat-trick on the debut. Great stuff, and then what will happen is loads of people will pile in, bring the player in, and then they won't do anything for 6 games because they just got lucky that week. Yeah. So try not to get new signings until you've had a good look at them, seen what they're like, and if you have the budget to get them into your team.
Yeah, well said. All right, okay. So moving on to the next one, which is don't buy defensive midfielders. Historically, and also even up until recently, defensive midfielders kind of struggle to get you genuine points. They're there as like a stocking filler, for example. You know, you'll get the odd 2 or 3 points guaranteed. You know, if you're looking for them little points, but
they're usually the budget players when you can't find anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. So your £5 million players there, but I've tried to avoid them because you're not really going to get massive points, and you'll be left disappointed if you're hanging on to their hard-working players. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, don't get rewarded higher points.
Generally, I'm going to add a caveat to that, is generally because they're not set piece takers, so no free kicks or penalties for them. Milivojevic was the exception last season with 7 penalties. And also they don't get assists and goals, rarely get goals or assists. So basically you're looking at bare minimum points. Again, this season might go against that because the likes of Fred, Jorginho, Fabinho are defensive midfielders, even Torreira, but they're more box to box, so they may get the odd assist, they may get the odd shot as well. So we might, we'll have to wait and see how that
Fingers
goes.
crossed, let's see what happens.
That rule might have to change. Number 4, don't take weekly points hits, which is what I did all of last season.
It's a reminder for him.
Yes, so each week you get your 1 free transfer, try and stick to that. At a maximum, take an extra one and get the -4, but even then if you've done that, don't be making a habit of it every week, which is what I did, and I had an absolutely awful first half of the season. You should by no way be taking -8 or a -12. If you do want to, if you've got something in plan, you need to bring in 2 transfers, save on 1 week, build it up, because you can carry 2 over. Yeah, maximum of 2.
Yeah. Number 5, do plan ahead. So what I mean by that is plan for 3 to 6 weeks, looking ahead, looking at fixtures, injuries, suspensions, and try and rotate your bench players as well. So what we mean is, if you've got a striker in your squad or a defender, and you think, oh, they're playing Crystal Palace, that'll be a good game to pick up some points, I'll bring them in. The next 3 games could be Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs.
Yeah.
So you're basing it on 1 game and bringing them in, and then you're going to knacker yourself to bring somebody else in the week after, so you're just burning through transfers. When, like Tarek just said, you could save 2 up and do it like that, do a bit of a block. So do look ahead, and any players that are injured, do keep an eye on the warning system as well for 25%, 50 and 75%. Yeah. 75% will generally play. Yeah. I think I always tend to keep them in. 50s and 25s, I would definitely be looking at them. Same with suspensions as well.
a quick little point on that. I noticed last season, towards the end of the season, people were particularly not looking ahead when their eyes lit up at the prospects of the double game weeks.
Yeah.
And so they used their wildcards, used their transfers, and got in players who were in for the double game weeks, but then completely disregarded the blank game weeks that they weren't playing before. So they had half a squad of players who weren't playing. So
Yeah.
plan ahead.
I'm going to very quickly add on
Yeah.
to that one as well. A lot of people, what you find is midweek fixtures, for example, if there's certain teams in Champions League or the Europa League, or they've got a cup run in the FA Cup or the League Cup,
Yeah.
they don't seem to realise that sometimes because of the rotation within them
Yeah.
games, they might not play in the Premier League fixture. Like you said, it might be an easier squad, easier team to play against, and the squad might be rotated. Therefore, people neglect that. So kind of be mindful of those fixtures as well. So not just the Premier League
Definitely.
fixtures, what else is out there in regards to that. The next one leads in nicely to don't get two premium goalkeepers. At the moment, we're quite blessed with what the Barclays Premier League is offering us. We've got De Gea, expensive, Ederson, expensive, Alisson's coming, expensive, Pickford, 5 million, then we've got the likes of Fabianski. So if you're going to be going for a big keeper, get one big keeper and maybe one at 4.5 like Fabianski, or get two budget goalkeepers but who are still going to be decent and at least guaranteed to play, so then you can rotate the fixtures that these guys said, plan ahead. So might have good fixtures, not so good, change them over.
Yeah, that's one way to spot an amateur player where they've got De Gea starting and Ederson on the bench. Why? Only one player can play at a time, so yeah, get rid of those. Number 7, when choosing your defenders, try and pick attacking defenders. What do we mean by that? Defenders who A, are centre-backs who get on the end of headers on corners and score you goals, or B, more commonly, fullbacks, attacking fullbacks who get in and around the edge of the box, lay up goals, take shots and scores. And the prime example, this one, if you ever needed one, Alonso of Chelsea was the highest scoring player after Salah, I believe. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so taking into account certain statistics. But yeah, basically value for money, Alonso was outscoring most strikers. Yeah, so look for fullbacks, the likes of Bellerin, Azpilicueta was the other one. Players like that who are getting up, attacking, helping set up goals and score goals.
Yep, good points there. Number 8, wildcard strategy. So the wildcard, for those of you who don't know, is where you can burn through as many transfers as you want without taking any points hits, like Tarek was saying before. So with this, the strategy is probably, Tarek was saying before, there's no correlation where you use your wildcard for where you might finish worldwide. Like the top 50 players used it anywhere from week 3 to week 12, which is just before Christmas, because you do get 2, one before Christmas, one after Christmas. Key thing is, don't forget about them like some people did.
How do you forget about them?
It was Christmas, I was exciid. I got lost in the moment.
It's
and,
alright, you want to give Tarek a chance, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought I'd catch up.
Way to catch up.
So the main thing is don't forget about them. This year we might see them coming in a little bit earlier because of the World Cup that's just come. So there's a lot of players coming back, like your Kanes and your England players. Yep. So could be people coming back after 3 or 4 weeks out. So maybe then is the time to use it. But who knows? They might surprise us and come back early. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing on the Twitter community, early as game week 2, people are planning to use their wildcard to bring in the likes of Kane and the other World Cup players who are coming back. But just the biggest thing about wildcard, if anyone knows, completely gutted when you wipe your team out, get the new players in, use your wildcard, and then the team you just got rid of outscores the one you just brought in. But hey, that's the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think, to be honest with you, a lot of people are going to wait for the international break this time round, because how close it is in regards with the players in going back off international break again.
That's true.
So maybe that's something just to keep an eye out for as well.
Again, personally, I am going to try and hang on to it as
for
long as
longer.
possible.
Yeah, in regards with that. But I just think if they've gone out for international breaks again, like Liam said before, injuries and stuff like that, potentially. You don't want to waste it and then find out you got 3 players out
comes back injured,
in regards with that.
Good point.
The next one we're going to talk about is kind of a little bit of a conundrum for some people, which is basically, is the 3 striker scenario dead? Is it dead and buried? Because a lot of talk in and around the Football Fantasy League community is how many strikers do we play with? Because a lot of people are looking at now potentially going for 5 at the back, so 5 defenders. So like you mentioned, Tarek, it's worth having attacking defenders, players who can score but also create and give assists. So there's a lot of value to be had in good priced defenders, but they can also attack and get you points, because now statistically what's been said is having strikers sometimes outweighs the positives from what you get from your defenders.
They're not value for money, are they?
Getting you the points. So you might have expensive Kane at 12.5, then you've got Lukaku, you've got Aubameyang, Aguero, you know, and Firmino even at 9.5, Jesus 10.5. So having these expensive strikers,
they only get 4 points
you
for a goal.
2-3 points. In regards to, sometimes they don't even get you the general 4
Goal,
points. It's just 90 minutes you play,
Yeah.
and they rack up maybe a yellow card. That's a minus point as well. And then you're like thinking, hang on a minute, my guy's got a clean sheet. He's given an assist, and before you know it, it's 12 points to a defender.
Bonus points. Don't forget bonus points as well.
Bonus points. So it's worth kind of playing about with your strike force and looking at potentially racking up either your defenders or your midfielders to strength in there. Go with a 5-3-2 or potentially even 5-4-1 in that regard.
That's where the value is, and particularly this season, like I said, going back to Fulham and Wolves, there's a lot of budget value players.
Very good.
Midfielders coming in at 6.5, very good. So we're going to see how that develops. Because the other point as well is last year's player, he actually finished number 3 in the end, Bharat Dodi, an Indian gentleman. He was leading, he was number 1 for 17 or 18 weeks, up until the last couple of weeks. And he was leading based on a 5-man defence, which obviously included a lot of United players as well. But 5-man defence, he played for the majority of the season and was leading. And ironically, the reason he lost it in the last couple of weeks because he came onto a live podcast and gave away his tactics, what he was going to do for the last couple of weeks. And the guy who was 5th ended up overtaking him.
What a mook.
What
An absolute mook.
What do you do if someone invites you on? You can't say no.
You say I'll wait 3 weeks and come on.
Number 10, Tarek. Let's see what we got at number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10, don't go on podcasts and tell people how you're doing it.
Yeah, fair point. I don't think there's any risk of anybody inviting us on. But anyway, number 10, ditch your club loyalties again. A clear sign of an amateur is they'll have the maximum 3 United players or 3 Liverpool players or 3 whoever. If you're playing Fantasy League, you can't say, I'm going to get my team's players because I love them and I support them, even though you know they're going to have a horrible, shocking season and they're not value for money and they're too expensive or whatever. Or, I'm not getting their players, I hate that team, even though that team is absolutely rocking it and racking in the points. You can't have your club loyalties in Fantasy League football. You've got to take a calm, measured, broad look at things. And it's a game, it's just a game, so enjoy it.
Says him.
Hey, sound
It's just a game. Alright, Leo.
Yeah, and by the same token, number 11, Tarek's talking about don't be loyal to your club. Don't be loyal to players in your fantasy team that aren't doing the business. So if you've got a striker in there that's not scored for 3 games, bin him out. If you've got a midfielder in there that keeps picking up yellow cards every 2 or 3 games, bin him out. Same with clean sheets and defenders at the back.
I'm laughing because I'm guilty of this, and I don't know why. This year I'm going to be ruthless. I'm going to have a 3-week policy. You perform in 3 weeks, or you're out. Because last season I wasted and dropped 10.5 million on Hazard, who did absolutely nothing for me. Yeah, he scored 1 goal, got him in, did nothing for about 10 weeks. Lingard did the same, Richarlison did the same, Willian did the same. So, 3-week rule for me.
Just for our viewers out there, I can guarantee you he ain't going to stick to his 3 weeks, because what happens as soon as he gets rid of someone after 3 weeks, they end up having a brilliant 4th week. He's like, this is what I've done. Wait till 4 weeks.
No.
4 weeks down the line.
That is the risk you take.
That is. And I think that leads into nicely our 12th advice, point of view, tip, etc. is don't make changes in anger or be irrational. You know, some people, like I said, summer happens within the game 1 week, and you kind of think, oh, he's got 2 goals here, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to change him out now. I'm going to put him in straight away. Or, for example, you've had a player who's not performed, say, just that 1 week, not like 3 weeks, Tarek's saying, and you're like, oh no, I've got to get rid of him, he's absolutely useless, he's,
Yeah.
and you go in straight away, as soon as full-time whistle goes, made the change, and then you realise that you've either had injuries, so then you're probably having to take minus points, or you think, hang on a minute, the player that you just bought in isn't playing, and then you're going to get even more wound up. So just be mindful, don't make changes in anger, and don't be irrational. And that was, sensible approach. Yes, it's nice to be competitive in there, but also don't let your emotions get the better of you. So let's go with a nice, sensible approach.
Yeah, I think the takeaway from all of that, I think, is from combining all those rules is to look at the big picture. It's the full season. Yeah, so either take your season by chunks, weeks at a time, not on a game-to-game basis. Yeah, so you need to look at the end game, the long game. Right. Off the back of that, then we're going to take a look at our close to final drafts. But before we do, we've had one person who's keen to get in his team for us to give us a second opinion in his team. So let's have a look at that, Riz.
Yes, okay, so what we are going to do is, it's our friend Omad again.
Thank you again, Omad.
As well as texting in his top 6, he has also provided us with his team so far. I don't know whether that's going to stay or whether that's going to change.
He's had a tinker because he keeps sending me updating his teams. He sends me on Twitter as well, so at Time Banter 7. Send us your teams, your ideas, any questions at Time Banter 7. No spaces, no underscore, or on the YouTube channel comment section.
Definitely.
I've had a quick look at his team, and obviously I'll put it up on screen for you now. You'll notice he has followed one of the ideas that's going around, that's doing the rounds on Twitter, is the 5-man defence.
5-man defence, yeah.
So he's gone for a 5-3-2
formation.
Yeah. And what do you want to say anything on it first, Riz?
Goalkeeper, he's gone with Edison at Manchester City. Strong choice, obviously 5.5 million. So, it's not a bad shout, because Edison did come close to matching the game. He was only one short on his clean sheets.
And who's his backup?
His backup goalkeeper, to be honest with you, is a little bit off the chart at the minute, because he's got Speroni.
Right. So he's going for the set and forget policy. So he's got Edison, and Edison's going to be his number one goalkeeper unless he's injured or suspended. Yeah. And Speroni's going to stay on the bench. He's not ever likely to come on and play for him.
In regards with that, looking at his back 5, I think 4 was strong. 1, you could say potential. Obviously, he's got Davis from Spurs. Okay, David Luiz.
Will he play
in that squad? David Luiz.
We'll go through them.
I think he will. In regards with that, got Robertson from Liverpool. Bailly, I believe it is, Eric Bailly, and Wan-Bissaka. Okay, so that's his 5 defenders there.
I was going to say I agree with you there, Liam. Tottenham fullbacks notoriously rotated. I stay away now, because every time I got Ben Davies last season, he didn't play. Every time I got Kieran Trippier, he didn't play. So I am not going for. I'm not going for Spurs fullbacks.
Rage transfers.
Yeah, I am not going for Arsenal fullbacks, despite having Bellerin at the moment. But I've learnt now that Unai Emery likes to rotate his fullbacks, which is bad news. So stay away from managers who rotate fullbacks. Even I'm not sure if. I don't think Sarri does actually. I think Sarri may stick to his fullbacks.
Sarri does like to adapt formations and also plays within the game, but he doesn't like to change plays.
Right.
He likes to
Omad, I personally will get rid of Ben Davies. How much is he coming in at? Is that 6
million?
6 million. So 6 million. I think there's better options.
Yeah.
Dinier's coming at Everton. Looks exciting. He's only 5. But if you can find another 0.5. I would strongly recommend getting in Azpilicueta from Chelsea. If you can find it, is definitely worth it, because I think that's what I'm trying to do on my team, is trying to find 0.5 million.
But does he want to be top heavy with 2 Chelsea defenders at the back?
He's gone in with a lower end with David Luiz, which fair enough is an option.
Well, he's got options. I mean, he's got 5 at the back, and obviously he's got £4 million in Wan-Bissaka there. His midfield looks fairly solid.
Sorry, before we carry on, I took away Liam's thunder there. Anything you want to add to it, Liam?
No. It's just the thing about will David Luiz play, because obviously he didn't last season.
I think he will, on the Saturday.
Yeah, I
he will.
think he did. He played in the friendly and he did reasonably well.
Yeah.
He did, and he is a team player.
Gets your goals as well, like we talked about.
Yeah.
He's on set pieces.
Set pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
Free kicks, yes. Rudiger looked good. He actually scored for Chelsea in that friendly. And Emerson, Sarri seems to be favouring Emerson, I'm hearing, over Alonso on the left side. So even though Alonso had a tremendous cracking season, he's more of a wing back, isn't he? And I think Sarri wants more of a defensive player.
Italians.
But the other three, Robbo, yes, no problems. Bailly, got him in mind. Hopefully Jose plays him and they have a good start. And Wan-Bissaka, absolutely, looks like hopefully he's going to be one of the gems because he's a starter at 4 million.
Yeah.
And he's one of those defenders we've talked about in the rules. He's going to give you attacking returns because, again, he's actually playing as a wing-back, almost a winger for Palace. So he's definitely going to get assists and goals and he's going to benefit from the clean sheet bonus as well.
Definitely. So we'll run into the midfield very quickly. So he's got Salah in there. He's probably a no-brainer. Yeah. Mkhitaryan, he's in at £7 million, and then he's got a City player in, which I believe is Sane.
Okay.
In regards with the squad there. So not bad midfield at all.
I think with the midfield, you can't. It's a case of wait and see what happens with the games.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, City maybe with now Mahrez being there, Sterling, Sane, Mahrez, who starts with so that might be one of those contentious ones.
Yeah.
If you want to do the strikers there,
We've got Firmino and Aubameyang, two solid ones, bit cheaper than your Kanes and Agueros and Lukaku's.
Aubameyang, isn't
Was he?
He's 11, isn't he?
Is he 11?
All right. He's one of the premium
yeah,
ones.
Lacazette is 9.5.
Right, that's what I was thinking of.
Firmino's 9.5,
Yeah.
So,
go for it. What do you think?
No, I think it's good. Like we say, going with the two, and is it the death of the third striker? There's probably no one on the bench that's going to be coming on playing, so whether the bench could be strengthened a little bit in that respect. But no, I think it's good. I think it's solid.
Reasonably strong team.
Yeah. So as like I say, aside from the Ben Davies, I think that's a pretty strong team. It's flexible as well because the five at the back is playing a 5-3-2, could easily change to a 4-4-2, or could easily become a 4-3-3 as well. So you can quickly, within 2 transfers, get a defender out, get a more attacking striker in. But otherwise, I'm a good team, like it.
Yeah.
Just look at the Ben Davies situation, I'd say.
And also your bench.
Yeah, maybe.
See what happens there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
If you need advice on the bench, maybe we can look at cheap bench players next week.
Potentially,
Potentially, okay. Right, moving on to our teams then. And I want to come to yours first, Riz, because I know yours is very interesting because Riz, the mad scientist, has gone, I don't know whether he's gone deliberately to break all of the rules we've just given you. Yeah, not all of them, but the majority of them.
Well, to be honest with you, definitely the top 2. So promoted players and new signings.
Right.
Like you said, I do like to play about with my team and try and experiment. I'm one of those individuals who likes to just go out the comfort zone and try and just see what's there and then maybe make a bit of a challenge like I did last year. So I've basically gone for new signings so far, so just rattle these off very quickly. Gone for Alisson in net, Westergaard at Southampton.
Westergaard, very exciting,
Got him in. I know I talked about Socrates, is he good, is he not? Wade obviously better than Koscielny and Mustafi. Got in there, 5.5, purely sticking to my rules of new signings. Digne, the chap at Everton now, coming over from Barca. I've kept Salah and I've kept Kane. I've just bought them in purely because of budget constraints. Let's spread that in the future. Sessegnon, Felipe Anderson, Naby Keita, Jorginho, Jimenez at Wolves. Okay, got them in. And my bench is fairly decent as well because I got Scar from Newcastle, just recently signed. Switzerland defender.
Shah.
I call him Scar.
Scarface.
Yeah. It's purely.
Yeah.
Got him and Pereira at Leicester.
Yeah.
He's
been touted as a half-decent player.
Yeah, very good, and I think he'll provide a lot of assists. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Gone for Mitrovic, and he's recently just signed again.
Frustrating player, Mitrovic. Let's hope he does well.
Oh, I think based on the way Fulham play their football, I think he will suit Fulham style compared to Newcastle style.
What's Sherlock classified? Is he midfielder?
Schürrle's midfield, and I think
Yes.
Right,
he
okay.
is 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5.
Mitrovic is 6.5. I think personally think overpriced at 6.5.
But Schürrle is midfield.
Yeah,
as well, so
okay.
that's good there. And then I've just gone for Fabianski. So
Can't go wrong there. What do you think, Liam?
So
Yeah, sounding good. You've done a lot of tinkering since we last,
I
since we
know.
last saw it as well.
This is probably going to change because there's a couple of players I want to look at. One keen interest of mine is again at Fulham with the legend from last year at Swansea, Alfie.
Alfie Mawson.
Alfie Mawson.
Hi, Alfie.
So let's see what's there, and a couple more signings possibly. There's a lot in midfield though. I could have had Maddison at Leicester. I could have had a few more.
Medine.
Medine, West Ham racking up players. They
Yeah.
linked with 4 Portuguese players. So,
Yeah.
but that's my team, basically experiment team. Let's see where it goes from there. So,
Personally, I'm quite excited because it's good for me from a selfish point of view. I want to see how all these new players do. So if Riz's team starts doing well, we're going to pick and choose, cherry pick the players we want in our team. So that's why I'm asking you why I've got Schürrle, because I'd like to see how Schürrle does. And Jota, yeah, from Wolves. Get him in.
he's another good buy, 6.5
Yeah.
million though.
Get him in. Yeah, no, I want to see how he does. Yeah.
So I'm doing a bit like your F1 trials. So basically, whoever goes to the pit lane first changes tyres. You're on soft or intermediates or whatever. You come back out. You set the
Yeah.
fastest lap. All the others team.
Go do it. Yeah.
Basically, that's what he's guinea pig.
Pretty much, yeah.
Guinea pig, that's what you are, is our...
I'll my own
guinea pig,
social
yeah.
experiment.
Rizbolt, the new red team.
I know, mate. Whizzing away. Off you go, Tarek. What about your team? Show me, because
My team, right. You see my team. It hasn't changed a lot. I've tinkered a little bit with it. Basically, I've started run through it. I had Forster from Southampton, who's going to start and go for me with his home fixture because I'm doing the 2 budget keepers rotating. So I've got Fabianski and Forster. Forster's starting at home. Fabianski is playing us, Liverpool away. So Forster's going in goal for game week 1. Then I managed to get Bailly in, who I'm not 100%. I want to think that Jose is finally going to give Bailly a chance. The best defender
He
he's
deserves
got
it.
at United.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very good. I like him. I rate him.
Quality defender, silky. Yeah, but I'm hoping he plays. Robertson, can't go wrong there. Bellerin, I've just said I've got doubts about him now, whether he's going to be...
See what happens. I took him out purely because of this.
Yeah, so I may consider, like I said, I'm trying to get Azpilicueta in. That's my goal this week somehow, is to tinker, not lose quality elsewhere, and get Azpilicueta in for 6.5, very expensive, but
Good
again,
luck.
when you match him up against any 6.5 striker, I know he's going to get me points. In midfield, so I've got 3 at the back, I've got 4 in the middle. Salah, goes without saying, he's going to be my captain for the majority of the season. Sane, who is due to play, deserves game time, let's see how he does. I took out David Silva for Willian, just to have Chelsea cover, because I didn't have, the reason why I got Bailly in as well, I had no cover from United, and no cover from Chelsea, so I've got Willian in, and I've got fingers crossed that he stays. Sessegnon, my one player from a promoted team, again touted to do well, he's on set pieces, gets loads of assists and goals, so let's hopefully see what Fulham can do. Up front, my 3, so I'm still sticking with the 3 at the moment. Lacazette, 9.5, Zaha and Arnautovic. Of those 2, I'm getting cold feet over Lacazette and Arsenal's first 2 fixtures, so I may just take out Lacazette and put Bobby back in, Bobby Firmino.
I just think we may have our bottle job of the week here. Bottling it already, Tarek.
Bobby Firmino back in until Arsenal get City and Chelsea out of the way. Let's see how they do. Aubameyang is looking the stronger of the pairing there. And the other one, Zaha, I'm not convinced by Zaha at the moment at Palace as well. So I may well end up, that's where my 0.5 Azpilicueta might come in. I might revert to the 2 strikers, get a budget striker in and put the money in to get Azpilicueta instead of Bellerin. Bench, Fabianski, Cedric at Southampton, who I think will do well for a budget defender. Tompkins, again, that's another 0.5 there because I'm going to get Tompkins out for Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, so I'm going to gain 0.5 there. And Neves from Wolves, who is staying.
Fair play. Decent team there. Let's see what happens with the changes.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is Forster. I don't think he's going to play. at Southampton, because I normally get him in being an ex-Celt. I always like a bit of an ex-Celt flavour in there. But he didn't play towards the end of last season.
He didn't, I know.
Is he now third choice?
McCarthy?
I think he's getting looked at being loaned out.
Right, this is the thing I need to check is
Don't tell
because
him that.
one of the rules,
I know.
well I would have looked into that, one of the rules I was going to say we didn't include, because there's certain other ones, is look at squad, and squad with 3 keepers, try and stay away from one. I think Southampton is one of those teams with 3 keepers.
Got good
isn't it?
at the purchased
So
from
I'm
Man
going to
City.
try, well, my other options are Bournemouth's Begovic. I might look at him. He's possibly a budget one. I'm going to have a look. I may swap him out. Thank you very much for that piece of advice.
Well, I'm hoping you'll give me a bit of advice, like tit for tat.
Yeah, of course. Go for it. Let's have a look at your team.
Something makes the world go round, guys.
Yes.
It's good karma.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, so my team has, I've done one big change around, and then I've left it alone since. So forgive me if I can't remember who was actually in it beforehand. But you might remember mine was the Moneybags team. I felt like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, Kane, isn't it?
Yeah,
Brewster's Millions.
Brewster's Millions, Kamisk's Millions. So I had Kane, De Gea and Salah in my team. So I'll start with the keepers. I had De Gea and someone for 4 million that was never going to play. I just went full out with De Gea. Got rid of them 2 and I brought Pickford in from Everton and Ryan in from Brighton, sorry.
Ryan's a good shout, that's the one I might get in.
Yeah. So I'm thinking there 2 keepers. I know.
You should have told him.
Point for point, Ryan was up there as one of the highest scoring players, not just goalkeepers, players from last
Points.
season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, we're
From
fantastic
solid
on
there.
the result anyway.
So
Don't
so
forget to rotate though.
no, that's the thing. Don't forget wild cards or rotation. So so depending on who they're playing each week, I'm gonna swap them around. Defence, I had Bednarek from Southampton, but I've taken him out and put Cedric in because Cedric actually played last season.
Yeah, helps, always helps.
Yeah.
And he's not bad at 4.5.
No, it's good. I did have him in last season, to be honest. It's a bit of a, like you said before, stocking fill, a bit of a just one that's there just to make up the numbers a bit. Up front's where I've had my midfield's unchanged. David Silva might come out. I'm a bit, like we said about the rotation at City, and with him getting on a bit, I don't think he's going to...
Sceptical about that one.
Yeah, I don't think he's going
Likewise.
to last. Up front, where I've had my big surgery. So I've got rid of Kane as well, and Murray, I think I had Murray as well, so I've taken...
Glenn Murray.
Yep, so I've taken Kane and Murray out and brought in Aguero and Arnautovic. So I've still used up all the money, but looking from what Tarek was saying before about City's run of fixtures, so I had to have a bit of a City flavour in there with Aguero, especially if Silva goes. And West Ham have been doing really well with the transfer market so far, but their opening fixtures do look pretty heavy. So based on tonight's discussions, I'm looking at maybe getting rid of Arnautovic, possibly bringing in a defender that's more attacking.
I would say get rid of Zaha.
Yeah.
Zaha really isn't looking up to it. They're playing him and Townsend as 2 strikers almost, which I can't see last
Very
season.
lightweight.
Well, I don't know about that one, to be honest with you.
Because, well, they're going to... Soloth has come in ahead of Benteke. So they're going to end up dropping and not being... I don't think they're going to be as...
I think the thing that you have with Zaha in comparison to some of your other strikers at similar prices is Zaha on his day can turn it on, and when he does turn it on, he can not only score goals but he can provide assists and he can be a game changer. So
True,
at
enough,
that 7 million, but obviously from my point of view, maybe you take that approach of go with 2 strikers. If you think right, depending on what games Zaha might play, maybe take that hit, keep the 7 million, play with Arnautovic and Aguero, the double A up front. See how that goes. See how you feel.
Yeah.
My tip for you would have been that, likewise, the subs I made is you've got no Chelsea cover,
Yeah.
and you've got no United cover.
I've got Jones in. That was what I missed. Jones. Yeah, I brought Jones in.
Footballing ape.
Yeah, because I was having a look at trying to get some
Not
United.
far off from Lovren.
So I was trying to look at getting some
Moreno.
United players in, and I look at Jones, and of United's 19 clean sheets last season, Jones starred in 15
Really?
of them.
Wow.
So
That's
is that some
surprising.
correlation?
Yeah.
Don't know, but certainly worth.
But yeah, otherwise,
He's
yeah.
the one who's probably making all the mistakes for the gear to make the sense.
I mean, people are going to be saying, like, why are we not even talking about getting rid of Sessignon? Promoted player, we don't know how they unknown quantity essentially.
My
but
whole
no,
team's
I'm
an
gonna stick
unknown
with it.
quantity.
Yeah. Essentially, I'd say your Chelsea cover, and maybe that comes from Silva going out. Because you've got Aguero, you've got City cover.
But I'll probably be looking to bring in Kane when he does get back.
But eventually, yeah.
So
Let's see what happens, boys.
know.
But all very interesting. And itching, I can't wait. I cannot wait. This time next week, you should be tuning in, fine-tuning your teams, and getting ready for Leicester trying to break down United. Is it United at home?
Yeah, Friday night football.
Whatever, man.
Right,
I mean,
United, oh yeah, the
let's
introduction of
see,
Friday
let's
night
see.
football this week as
Friday night,
well.
Yes.
So Leicester, good luck. Only at home, so only the one wall, only
Yeah.
the one bank of 5 players.
Yes.
Yeah, so hopefully they do well.
Let's see where your wheels
Let's
come
see
off.
how-
Let's see where your wheels come off.
Let's
This
see
is
how
our
Leicester
season,
do.
Liverpool FC.
Let's see how
Let's
Leicester
see.
do. One thing I was going to say is enter the league. Yeah, so get in touch on the YouTube channel at Time Banter 7 with your tips, advice, questions, whatever. But also enter the league. I'm going to put the code up. Make sure you enter before it's too late. Don't miss the first game week. Remember, it's a Friday. So transfer window closes on the Wednesday,
9th.
when we will be filming. So we will be up to date. Hoping to have the video out for Thursday, if not Friday lunchtime. And then Friday evening, 5 PM is going to be your deadline for your Fantasy League team. So enter the league. Prize we're going to put up, guys, this is going to be news to you as well, is winner of our full-time Banter League wins a shirt, Premier League shirt of their choosing for a team. Yeah? Yeah, so make sure.
Wowzers.
Yeah, so
Hey, that experimental team.
Yeah.
we can't win it, unfortunately. We can't win it.
Just
that's
a very
it. Any
quick point
final
for you,
words?
Tarek. Yeah. If people do start after you anyway, they're still going to whoop you. So bring it on, guys. But don't give them that excuse. It wasn't 1 week. It wasn't 2 weeks.
This is the thing I'm conscious about, is that we're doing the show now, we're giving all these tips and everything, and we're putting ourselves out there to be shot down. Yes, literally putting our necks on the block. So we've got to do well. Yeah, we have got to.
Mine's an experimental team, so I can get away with it.
Cop out. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much.
Let's go, guys.
Goodbye. See you next week.
Thank you.